It's hard to comprehend that these kids were abandoned since basically spring of 2020. So, what happened today? Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald charging 34-year-old Kelly Bryant, that's the mother, with three counts of first-degree child abuse. That is the most severe that felony can be. So she is facing up to life in prison. And, the investigation is still ongoing because there's so many questions that have still
Look
been
at the
going,
house,
through everyone's minds, right? The number one being why they're still trying to figure that out with their investigation. But, these kids, they are currently under the custody of the Department of Health and Human Services, living with a relative. They are recovering. But when you hear just some of these terrible things these kids went through, no toilet paper, a bathroom that didn't work, too scared to go outside. The only time the little boy went outside was, one, to get the mail, and two, to touch the grass. It's just a terrible, terrible thing. Take a listen to what Prosecutor McDonald had to say.
This is insane.
This is the worst I've ever seen. And I've stopped saying that because every time I say that, I see something worse. It was unbelievable what they were living with for years. These kids, not to have even basic hygiene tools. And I guess what stands out the most for me is no love. There was nobody there to care for them.
Wow.
For between 3 and 4 years. No parent, nobody physically present to let them know that they were safe and they were loved.
Wow. And you hear that. Nobody physically present. So you might be wondering, how does that even happen? Yeah. Well, just from hearing from Sheriff Bouchard and Prosecutor McDonald, the boy had access to a phone. He would text his mom when their food supply was running low, and occasionally she would order things off Instacart or DoorDash. For example, we've heard near the end before they...
What? Hold the hell on. What? Texted her. He had a phone to text his mom, and his mom wouldn't even come. What? Oh my goodness. So you just what y'all need? I'm just gonna send it over there.
When their food supply was running low, and occasionally she would order things off Instacart or DoorDash. For example, we've heard near the end before they found these kids, they were getting a loaf of bread sent to them to be spent over 3 or 4 days to survive. So just really, really bad conditions. So there's a lot still unfolding in this case. Bryant expected to be arraigned tomorrow morning. Of course, we'll cover that. For now, reporting live in Pontiac, Scott Walchek, Fox 2 News.
What the heck?
And Scott, you just said that the child, the oldest son, had a phone that he would text his mother. Do we know why he didn't call for help or didn't even go to a neighbor and say what they were living in? I mean, did she possibly threaten them if they did say something? Because a lot of people are probably wondering that right now. And where do they go from here?
Yeah, police have said that these kids were living in fear, right? So the mom, it's unknown exactly the exact quote she said or what the threat was, but they were terrified to go outside, right? And even when the police came to the home, they were hiding. The two little girls were in a bathroom. The little boy was hiding somewhere else. So it's just a really sad and messed up case. They're still investigating, right? Because we know that the mom is being charged. They're still investigating family, other types of contacts to see if there could be more charges coming down.
All right. Thanks for that update. It's still just a heartbreaking story.
Wow. So, yeah, man, I had seen this story and I've heard about it when I was my wife told me about it, and so I was like, man, what's going on with this? And I seen some pictures and I said, okay, let me stop. Let me react to this later. Oh my God. How do you do this to children? Like, how do you, I don't understand the level of mental sickness that you have to give your child a phone and just say, text me when you need something. I'll bring it to you. I'm not going to come and care for you. What was she doing when they were newborns and kids? Like, where the hell was she at? This is disgusting, man. And she's about to serve life in prison. And you know what? When I think life in prison, I think of murderers. I think of of killers, right? People who've committed like these heinous crimes. But when you think about this, and if this is really what this is, and it's really even worse than what we believe, they said that 4 years these kids have been abandoned. Wow, man, the traumatic experience that these kids are going to experience is probably going to be insane. Like I'm reacting to this story right now, but imagine what they got to go through after this, like after they've gotten captured. I mean, what have they been through? And then they got to go into the system if nobody's going to come and take them. And hopefully the system doesn't do them wrong and they don't get messed up in the system. Wow. This is absolutely disgusting. Who would even want to date a woman like this? Right? Like somebody had to have known that she had a kid and this is what she was doing. I don't understand how a man could even want to be with a woman like this. Life in prison, I'm kind of thinking about it as I'm talking to y'all to see like, man, is that a little too harsh? I'm undecided about it right now. I definitely believe that she needs to, a harsh crime, and life in prison might just be justified. I think once we get into the details of this story, right now they're kind of telling us basically these kids have basically been fiending for themselves. But, I'm just confused on how nobody around Pontiac would notice that there's just kids in this house. There's never an adult coming outside. So, as a person who likes to think a little bit deeper, I have some other questions on, how did no one know that there was no adult at the home, or was there an adult at the home? What else has been going on with these children? It's absolutely sad. It's disgusting. And I can't believe that there's someone out there that would do this to children. It doesn't matter if it's just one, but children in general. This is disgusting. And you know what? Life in prison. Wow. Maybe. I can tell you right now, man, as I listen to this story, I think about my 2 daughters and I'm like, my goodness, for 4 years, I got a 4-year-old right now. And I'm like, she doesn't know anything. I mean, if you give her a house to herself, she can hurt herself with so much stuff going on in the home. Like, oh my God, that's disgusting. Let me know y'all thoughts below about this story, man. I can't even, I really want to say a whole lot, man. This is a filthy, trifling woman. And I'm wondering where she got this type of behavior from, where you could just leave kids and this is okay. But I'm also putting the fault at some of the people that's in Pontiac, the neighbors. You can't tell me y'all didn't know that this was going on and y'all didn't call CPS unless they just didn't tell us in this story. Nobody wasn't calling around. I don't know. It's pretty disgusting. I'm gonna read. Johan says, "Is there grandparents or aunts or uncles? Why put them into the system?" And that's what I'm saying. But then again, I'm wondering where did she learn this from? Right? Where did she learn to just keep kids at the house like that? Did she learn from somebody in her family? I feel bad for these kids because obviously the grandparents would know that she never has her kids, probably, right? Like, I'm just trying to think things through. So I'm like, would going into the system be a better idea for them? I don't know, man. But I pray for these kids, man. I really hope that, I hope the Lord has a blessing over these kids and a story for these kids. And I hope they all come out to be successful. And I hope this traumatic experience doesn't hinder them in life, man. This is disgusting. Absolutely. I can't believe it, man. Let me move over to the next story. That actually kind of pissed me off.